If your strip sets didn't turn out to be 5.5 inches, you're going to want to make sure that they're all a consistent width. So you'll either have to do some adjusting in your seam allowances or adjusting in your pressing, but you want to make sure that they're all a consistent width. Maybe they're all 5 1/8. Maybe they're all 5 1/4. It will not matter as long as they are all, your strip sets are a consistent width. Let's talk about Marti's templates. Each of Marti's template sets come, if they're an individual template, with some instructional information hung on a nice little pink catch. When we went through our ruler training, Marti encouraged us to remove the pink rubber catch, take the instructional piece, and set it aside in a place where you know you're going to keep track of it. Whether that's a filing system, a baggie system, a drawer, just keep these pieces because inside there's lots of information about how to use the template as well as ideas of designs that you can use with the template. Marti encourages us to keep the pink, I'm going to call it a little catch, because later you can use it to reattach to your template and hang your template up. Some people like to hang their Tampax by the hook. This way you never, by the hook hole, this way you never damage your hook hole. Also, it allows you to put 2 templates or more together in a set for travel. So keep these pink catches. Don't cut them. She encourages you to keep them so you can use them later. On the small diagonal set triangle ruler, you will see that it has a 90-degree edge corner here and a 45-degree edge corner here. Both of the corners are engineered for cutting. With the strip set that we just put together, it is necessary to trim this edge. So you will notice that I take my strip set, I line my ruler up with the bottom of the strip set, I line the square edge up with the top of the strip set, and I'll take my rotary cutter and I will cut this one cut right here. This strip set is now almost ready to go. Marti reminds us one of the important parts of the tool is that engineered corner. So I take my ruler once again, lay it in the corner. To cut those engineered corners, set your rotary cutter down next to the ruler and just rock it back and forth, pulling the strip aside. See how easy that was? And now I have this nice engineered corner. Remember that 18-inch piece of fabric by 45 that we were supposed to use? You're going to lay it on your cutting mat with the right side facing down. That's the wrong side facing up. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll place your strip set. This will be the guide that tells us where we need to make our cut. Using your rotary cutter and ruler, lay the ruler along that outside edge, the left side of your strip set. Make a cut and discard this piece of fabric. Now, this is where you'll either be using the rotary ruler or your strip set as your guide. If your strip sets measure 5 1/2 inches, you can remove the strip set and make your next 3 cuts at 5 1/2 inches. This is the recommended method. If your strip set does not measure 5 1/2 inches, you're going to want to measure your strip set and make your cuts the width of your strip set. Once you've made those cuts, you will have the piece of fabric that's exactly the width that you need for your block unit. You will take your 3 strip sets and lay them face right sides together with your background fabric, and you'll stitch 1/4 inch seam on both sides. You can see I've stitched 1/4 inch on both sides. Then, depending on if you are right-handed or left-handed, you'll begin to make your cuts. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to make my cuts from the left-hand side, cutting towards the right. I line my diagonal set triangle ruler up with the left-hand side of my strip set. I line up the engineered corner with the top part of my strip set, and I make sure that I have a nice straight line here on my diagonal set ruler. Make a cut. You can remove that triangle piece, turn your ruler over, make your second cut, and continue on down through the remaining part of the fabric. But you're not finished yet. It's time to make sure you have those engineered corners just right. Again, you're using your ruler, positioning it in the corner. Use your rotary cutter, rock it back and forth on that ruler to engineer the corner. You'll do the same for the opposite corner. Now you see I have my piece constructed and the two corners are already engineered. I'm finishing up my edges, engineering my corners on each of the block units. From one strip set you should be able to get 4 block units. Again, I'm just rocking my cutter back and forth. That way I don't run the risk of nicking my blade or nicking my ruler. One of the things we learned in the Marti and me training in Atlanta was that that's also a very good way to begin cutting strips, is to start about 1 inch up in our ruler, about right there, and come backwards and then forward so we don't try to catch the edge of that ruler with our first cut. There I have 4 block units ready to go, but we stitched them on both sides. So now how do I make that into a block unit? I simply use my seam ripper and pop a couple of threads, and the block opens up and it's ready to be pressed. Easy, engineered corners, and it's ready to go. This block needs to be pressed towards the focus fabric. So now you'll take all of your block pieces and you'll press them toward the focus fabric. Remember, Marti asked us to cut 4 strip sets, and yet we only used 3 to make the 12 blocks that we needed for this table runner. What are we going to do with that 4th set? Well, we're going to add in the V corners at the end. So take that 4th strip set that you already have pressed and go ahead and cut it into 4 block units. Again, using your Marti Michelle template, you'll make the first cut, turn the template over, line the template up with the side of the fabric and the engineered corner. Make your second and third cuts until you have 4 triangle units like what we used for our block unit. Again, you're going to want to use your Marti Michelle template to engineer those corners so that they're ready for perfect piecing. Again, rock your rotary cutter alongside of the templates unit. And you'll make 4 pieces that look just like that. Now it's time to finish our layout for our table runner. On page 2 of the pattern, Marti shows different examples of how we can lay our table runner out. But let's go ahead and play with them on our design wall. I started out by placing mine so they made a center, the stripes made a center unit. And I want to finish by bringing that design element out to the edge. We'll see how that looks. Not a bad looking table topper. Remember those 4 additional strip set half square units. We could go ahead and set those up onto our quilt top, like so. Creating a nice point to each end. Or you may choose that your table topper would not have a pointed end. It's entirely up to you. Simply by changing the design and the layout, we can make our table topper look completely different. Go ahead and play around with your units and see which design you like best. I hope you've enjoyed working with our Marti Michelle template diagonal set ruler. Thank you for joining us for our Marti and Me Club. This month we worked on Marti's pattern, Bali Breezes, using the small diagonal triangle ruler. I hope that you've enjoyed making this table topper along with us. Please join us next month when we work on Lazy Afternoon, using Marti Michelle template set B.